Hello, my name is Robert Bro. My wife Carrie and I have been natural healing practitioners and educators for over 20 years. And in that time we have personally witnessed the transformation of hundreds of sick and debilitated, degenerated, malnourished, and toxic bodies back to healthy, vital, normally functioning ones through the use of fresh, raw vegetable and fruit juice therapy. Often these people had been previously declared terminal and sent home to die by their doctors. Juice therapy is not limited to the sick and debilitated, though. We have also worked with world-class athletes and extremely healthy and fit individuals as well, who benefited greatly from drinking raw vegetable juices as part of their training program. If raw juices can bring back dying people to health, imagine what it can do to an already fairly healthy individual. On this DVD, we're going to share with you the many benefits of juice therapy, as well as how to use a vegetable juicer. We're going to use an awesome new machine that we have been using and are very excited about, called the LifeChoice Juicer. It is an auger type juicer that works at low operating speed, so there is no friction generated, and therefore it doesn't create heat that would destroy enzymes. The LifeChoice Juicer is quiet and easy to use and clean, which is a vital determinant in how often a juicer gets used. We will put it through its paces for you and show you some of the things it can do in your kitchen other than just making juice. So sit back and relax and enjoy learning about the LifeChoice Juicer.
Now I'm going to show you the different parts of the juicer. This is the motor, which has the off-on switch and the reverse function. It has a handle. This is a very powerful motor. It creates 4 horsepower at the auger, which turns at 80 revolutions a minute. It has 2 receptacles, a foam screen, the hopper, a homogenizing plug, the housing, a nozzle, the auger itself, the push rod, 2 inserts. One is for juicing and the other is for homogenizing. And these are different end caps. The wide end cap is for juicing, the more narrow one is for your homogenizing, and then there's 2 for making pasta, one for fettuccine and one for spaghetti. Now I'm going to put this together for juicing. The auger fits into the housing. Snug it up. Put it into the receptacle and turn the nozzle, locking it in place. Put the hopper on. This time I'm going to use it for juicing, so I'm going to put that insert into place, turn it, and then lock it with the nozzle. Turning that in place, locking it securely. Put your screen there, set these in place, select the end, and move these out of the way, and you're ready for juicing.
Everyone can benefit from drinking raw juice, regardless of their physical condition. Fresh fruit and vegetable juices have been shown to possess remarkable health-promoting benefits, and they have been used for centuries by natural healers to help treat a range of ailments. Lime juice was, for example, found to be an effective cure for scurvy as far back as the 16th century, and this saved thousands of sailors' lives on their long journeys around the world. Since the turn of the 20th century, the value of fresh raw vegetable juices has been recognized by the well-informed, including professionals as well as laypersons. More recently, scientists have identified the nutritional and biochemical properties of freshly prepared fruit and vegetable juices, which account for their use in helping treat so many health problems. The multitudes of people that have lived on and are living on primarily cooked foods are in a state of decadence, confirmed by the toxic conditions of their bodies. This is why we have such overcrowding of hospitals, and why the astronomical amount of painkillers, anti-inflammatory drugs, antacids, laxatives, etc. are sold annually, and while we have such a high incidence of heart disease, cancer, diabetes, arthritis, emphysema, senility, and premature deaths. Oxygen is one of the most essential elements. As soon as food is cooked, its oxygen is lost. The enzymes are destroyed at 114 degrees, and most of the vital force needed for nourishment is dissipated. When we eat anything that is not good for us, or that is incompatible with our nutritional requirements and balance, we suffer. We are sent notes of reprimand in the form of pain or cramps, leading to disease and perhaps to any of the infinite number of ailments which afflict humans. Such punishment may not manifest itself immediately, nor be immediately apparent, but because of the body's miraculous tolerance and reserve, often months or even years will pass before the long-range retribution catches up with us. Today, any person not familiar with the nutritional and recuperative value of the juices of fresh vegetables, fruit, grasses, and herbs is disadvantaged. There is not a drug in the world that will supply the bloodstream with anything in a way in which the body can use it for permanent repair or regeneration. Our bodies produce 1 billion cells every hour, 24 billion every day. To produce those new cells and to maintain normal function in those cells, our bodies need to be supplied daily with the same elements of which they're composed. The juices extracted from fresh raw vegetables and fruits are the means by which we can furnish all the cells and tissues of our body with the elements and the nutritional enzymes they need in the manner they can be most readily processed. The entire process of digestion and assimilation is completed with a maximum degree of speed and efficiency, and with a minimum of effort on the part of the digestive system. The body will then use the saved energy to clean house, repair, and rebuild the rest of the body. It is important to note that by juice, I'm not referring to those that are purchased in cans or cartons. Commercially prepared juices are often so processed that the nutritional content is largely lost and the healthy enzymes are destroyed by heat sterilization. In fact, vitamins often have to be added to the juices. Commercially produced juices are pasteurized or dead and contain undesirable substances such as sugar in the form of dextrose, fructose, and corn syrup, as well as food colorings, preservatives, synthetic vitamins, salt, and other additives. These commercial juices may be a refreshing drink, but they do not possess the same health benefits as freshly squeezed juices made from a home juice extractor. Norman Walker is considered by many to be the father of juice therapy. He healed himself of a debilitating condition over 70 years ago by drinking the juices of raw vegetables, but there were no juicing machines available then. He had to finely cut and grate the vegetables and strain them through linen cloth to obtain the juice. He then went on to manufacture the first mechanical vegetable juicer himself. Since then, there have been many improvements in the mechanics of juicing, but the principles behind the process remain the same. Freshly squeezed juices contain naturally occurring vitamins, minerals, and enzymes, which are far better than synthetic tablets or capsules. By separating the mineral elements in the naturally distilled water in the food from the fibers, this liquid food is digested in a matter of minutes. The juice is absorbed into the bloodstream much like an IV, with no work of digestion. Within 10 minutes, the nutrients are easily absorbed into the bloodstream and are nourishing your body's cells. A glass of raw juice is the best multivitamin mineral supplement money can buy. A 4 to 8 ounce glass of raw fruit or vegetable juice is like liquid gold to your body. It provides not only all of the healing nutrients that have been isolated, but also many that science has yet to discover. It provides them in their living, organic, alkaline, whole, complete, balanced form. A glass of juice can and should be considered to be a meal in itself. If you're concerned that you're not getting all the nutrients out of raw fruits and vegetables that you need, or if you're just beginning to change your diet and want to increase your health, drink at least a glass of raw juice daily. Juicing has a concentrating effect on the nutrients in fruits and vegetables. Like all of the most valuable things in life, the vital parts of vegetables, those which contain the greatest concentrated value, are the most difficult to reach, being hidden within the fibers. Hence the need for thorough mastication when chewing and the use of a hydraulic press when juicing with a centrifugal juicer. Solid foods have to go through the body's digestive tract, and this can take several hours and requires a healthy digestive system. The digestive process requires separating the mineral elements from the fibers, which involves time, actually 3 to 5 hours, to be spent by the digestive organs. The digestion of a meal utilizes 80% of the body's energy. Juice, on the other hand, is assimilated and absorbed very quickly into the bloodstream without taxing the digestive system. By juicing fruits and vegetables, you lose only the fiber. This means that a much higher quantity of nutrients is available in the juices. The body is continually producing acid in many forms. Acidic waste is being produced in every one of the 100 trillion or so cells in your body. Acid-forming foods such as protein, especially animal protein, grains, coffee, alcohol, cooked and pasteurized, canned, refined foods, etc., as well as acids of fermentation from undigested meals, petrochemical residues from pesticides, chemical fertilizers, growth hormones, etc., all contribute to an acidic condition. The enzymes that power our cells have an acid-alkaline range in which they will be able to perform at optimum efficiency. When the pH is too acidic, the enzymes are not able to act as catalysts for the chemical reactions to take place. The only way our bodies acquire alkaline minerals is through fresh, raw fruit and vegetables. And I emphasize raw. These alkaline minerals will balance or buffer the acids in the body and keep the enzymes happy and functioning well. Repair and regeneration of our body must come from within. A person can eat 4 or 5 big meals a day, and yet their body may be starved through the lack of the vital elements in the food and disturbance in the enzyme balance. When the blood cells, tissues, organs, and glands do not contain these essential elements in proper proportion or are deficient, the body is out of balance. The result is a condition that is poisonous called toxemia. In order to regain and maintain the proper balance of health, most of the food we eat must contain live, vital, organic elements. These elements are found in the fresh, raw vegetables, fruits, and soaked nuts and seeds. Fruit juices are the cleansers of the human system, but the fruit should be ripe. Vegetable juices are the builders and regenerators of the body. They contain all the amino acids, minerals, salts, enzymes, and vitamins needed by the human body, provided that they are used fresh, raw, and without preservatives, and that they have been properly extracted from the vegetables with a pulp extractor juicer. The important thing is to drink your juice fresh daily, irrespective of how they have been extracted. Naturally, the more completely the juice is extracted, such as with a juicer like the LifeChoice, the more efficiently it will work in the body. When we use a variety of local vegetables that are in season, we get a variety of minerals, which assures our body of obtaining all the vitamins, minerals, and phytonutrients that it needs. Organically grown food is of superior quality, containing up to 15 times more nutrition than found in commercial produce. Fortunately, it is becoming more and more available and obtainable even in large grocery stores. If you're not able to buy organically grown food, take the best of what is available. Just be sure that you pick the freshest and best quality that you can find. And this applies whether you're buying your vegetables for salads or for making your juices. You can do a Clorox in water or hydrogen peroxide in water soak in your sink at home to revitalize the produce and to remove any pesticide residues. Or, better yet, what we do is use an ultrasonic food washer that vibrates the dirt off the produce with ultrasonic sound waves. It also has a nano silver coating that kills over 650 different pathogenic microorganisms on contact. This unit also produces ozone, which breaks down chemical residues into harmless compounds immediately. In this overview, I've merely scratched the surface of the importance of and the benefits of drinking raw vegetable and fruit juices. The best way to really learn about these advantages is to make juicing a part of your lifestyle program and start juicing regularly. I hope this information has been insightful and motivating for you.
Now I'm going to show you how easy it is to make juice with the LifeChoice Juicer. Here I have several carrots, I have beets, beet tops or beet greens, and a collard leaf and a radish. So we're ready to begin juicing. I have the receptacles in place and the juicing screen under where the juice is going to come out. So we turn it on and we'll be ready to go. I like to alternate the hard vegetables with the softer ones. Put a little bit of this collard green in, radish, some more of the green, most carrots will fit into the hopper easily. The big ones that you get, you might have to cut in half lengthwise once or twice. Sometimes you'll get a very large leaf and you can either cut it, which I've done, or you can roll it up. And I like to maybe break it in half and then push it down into the hopper. And then get the remaining part. The rest of that drain through. There, and we're done. Now, you see that it strained a lot of this pulp. And then you can also strain it further before you drink it. This took a few minutes, and now we have a healthy glass of juice. Salud.
The primary form of food is grass. Grasses have been a dominant worldwide source of human food throughout history. Man's most primeval nutrient, that which nourished him for hundreds of thousands of years, until technological civilization brought with it sprouts and tender grasses that flourished all over the earth. Grass is a balanced food containing a broad spectrum of high-quality vegetable nutrition. Grasses are a complete life-sustaining food. Based on the studies, if you had to choose one food for survival, it should be grass. There are over 9,000 known species of grass and grains. Grasses are the most widely distributed group of flowering plants. Wherever there is sun, water, and earth, there is grass. Only algae and lichen grow in the extremes of climates that grasses can survive. Wheat, rye, corn, rice, oats, barley, sorghum, millet, spelt, and kamut all are grasses. Grains are concentrated sources of carbohydrates, B vitamins, fatty acids, minerals, fiber, and protein. They have migrated with our species from ancient times and places to the modern world. 1/4 of the grass species in the northeastern United States today arrived with European settlers. Grasses are the primary source of food for domestic and wild grazing animals, which feed on pastures and grasslands. Of the 15 major crops that feed animals all over the earth, 10 are grasses. 1/3 of the planet is covered by grass, and even in the concrete cities across the planet, grass grows through the cracks in concrete sidewalks and asphalt roads. Nevertheless, we largely ignore it. The highest civilizations of the past have coincided with the best grasslands. The Egyptian goddess of fertility, Isis, is purported to have discovered the wheat grain in Phoenicia, in the cradle of Western civilization, and many of our cereal grasses originated there. Ceres is what the Romans named the goddess of agriculture. Even the earliest research of the 1930s identified the young cereal grasses as complete foods. All the known nutrients were found, including other unidentified ones called grass juice factors. Today they would be labeled phytochemicals. A whole food is a complex bundle of thousands of chemicals. Squeezing out isolated nutrient fractions dissipates its magic. Grass contains hundreds of vitamins, minerals, enzymes, amino acids, phytochemicals, antioxidants, cellular RNA and DNA, all in concentrated form. 15 pounds of wheatgrass is equal in overall nutritional value to 350 pounds of ordinary garden vegetables. Grasses vary in nutritional content depending on where it was grown, when, and how. Whole dehydrated grass is 25% protein. Meat has 17% protein, and eggs have 12% protein. We could define grasses as protein foods, but there are other foods like blue-green algae with up to 72% protein. Nutrition is not a weightlifting contest. It's not about getting more protein, but getting more balance. It's not quantity, but quality. And the most important quality factors are variety and balance. Grasses are the primary food for domestic and wild grazing animals, especially the beasts of burden. These dumb animals have long known the truth about grass. We are just now coming around because we have the technological means to compensate for our inability to digest the grass directly. Instead of 4 compartments in our stomachs, we have juicers, such as the one we're going to show you on this DVD. Grass is a wonderfully balanced source of nutrients, excellent for all minerals, major and minor. It is especially high in calcium, magnesium, manganese, phosphorus, and potassium, as well as trace minerals such as zinc and selenium. All of these are important for cardiovascular and immune system function. Grass has all the B vitamins, including biotin, folic acid, pantothenic acid, an abundance of choline, and is a vegetable source of vitamin B12. There is up to 45% protein in barley grass juice powder, as compared to an egg, long considered the perfect protein, which is 42% protein when dried. The protein in grass is in the form of polypeptides, simpler, shorter chains of amino acids that enable faster, more efficient assimilation into the blood and tissues. Grass includes at least 20 amino acids, both essential and non-essential. Its spectrum of vitamins is so broad that in 1939, dehydrated wheatgrass was actually accepted by the American Medical Association as a natural vitamin food. Chlorophyll is essential to life on the planet. Grasses and algae are the richest sources of chlorophyll on the planet. Chlorophyll is only one of the important pigments in grasses. There are other pigments, such as carotenoids, alpha-carotene and the famous beta-carotene, xanthophylls, and zeaxanthin, to name a few. There is an abundance of these phytonutrient pigments in grass. There are up to 18,000 units of beta-carotene per ounce of grass. This vitamin A precursor has significant immune-enhancing properties, including the promotion of T cells. High levels of this antioxidant nutrient are associated with reduced cancer and cardiovascular disease risks. Another important vitamin and antioxidant abundant in grass is vitamin E. Grasses have a water-soluble form of vitamin E called A-tocopherol succinate, which stimulates the production of T cells, antibodies, interleukin-2, and interferon, among its many immune system benefits. This form of vitamin E is very effective in suppressing the growth of cancer cells. In addition, it has the ability to increase the production of prolactin and growth hormone in the pituitary gland. Grasses are also abundant sources of quality vitamin K, the blood clotting vitamin. The body needs it to form the enzyme prothrombin, which creates fibrin that clots the blood. It also acts as an antidote for certain poisons. There is a powerful antioxidant in barley grass that is both soluble in water and fats and is highly stable. This means it is capable of permeating both the fat and aqueous cell membranes in order to fully protect the cell from the damaging effects of oxidation. It is more potent than vitamins E and C, but when taken together, the synergistic effects are profound. Barley grass has all three in good quantity. It is a preventative for arteriosclerosis and is just as effective as any prescription drug for this disease without any side effects. Barley and wheatgrass are both abundant, inexpensive sources of superoxide dismutase, or SOD. This is a powerful antioxidant and anti-aging enzyme. SOD is a proven anti-inflammatory for arthritis, edema, gout, bursitis, etc. Testing SOD activity in barley grass can be a yardstick for measuring overall enzyme activity. If the heat-sensitive SOD is active, so are all the other 80-plus enzymes in grass. Fresh squeezed wheatgrass juice is a veritable enzyme soup, dancing with metabolic activity. It is so charged with electrical energy, you can feel it rushing through your body, even raising the hair on the back of your neck. Wheatgrass juice is liquid sunshine, transformed into nutritive energy. It's a veritable brew of water, oxygen, enzymes, protein, phytochemicals, chlorophyll, carotenoids, fatty acids, and trace minerals, all waiting to revitalize all your cells. Wheatgrass is different than wheat berries. One is a grain, the other a green vegetable. The green vegetable grass contains no gluten. It is no more allergenic than spinach, kale, chard, or lettuce. In fact, it contains anti-allergenic factors. When we are ill and depleted, our cells operate at low intensity, like a weak battery. Only other living cells can provide the electricity they need to recharge. Although there is enzyme activity in dried grass, it's not the same level of intensity as the fresh. When you really need to jumpstart a sick body, there is no substitute. If you're trying to heal and rejuvenate, you want the best. Juice the fresh grass. Drink in the liquid sunshine. It's the real thing. All of the research done on grass has been on dried grass. The nutritional value of grass is so prodigious that even the dried powder has powerful effects. These results are measurable and striking. So, imagine how much more effective the juice of the raw grass is for healing.
Now I'm going to explain to you about wheatgrass. Here we have wheat berries, and this is the result of the wheat growing and fruiting, and this is the grain or part of the wheat that's ground into flour. If you were going to grow your own wheatgrass, you would pour a certain amount of it in water. This is a little over a cup, and let it soak in water to begin the sprouting process. We usually let it soak between 12 and 36 hours. It starts to sprout. You might have to rinse the water a few times. And then from here, it's put into a tray. And this tray is grown without soil. You can grow it with soil, in which case you would sprinkle the berries on top of the soil and cover it with a little bit more soil. And then we find the best way to water this is to soak it. Take the whole tray and dip it in a larger vessel to water from the bottom. This avoids a lot of the mold that sometimes forms when the grass is growing in a confined area. So this, you'll see, is very green and healthy. And now we're going to cut some of this and go ahead and juice it. I'm going to cut it even here as I can with the bottom of the wheat berries. We'll go ahead and cut a few sections out. I'm going to cut about a quarter of this tray and show you how much wheatgrass this will juice. Now you can usually get a couple of harvests out of this. This will continue to grow, although you won't get it quite as lush and large, but you can let it grow a little bit more. People typically drink 1 to 2 ounces a day. It's good to start with a little less to get used to it because of the powerful effect it has on your body. A little bit more, and it'll look like about a quarter of a tray, just to give you an idea how much juice this makes. This is very concentrated and very powerful. You don't need to drink as much of this juice as you would other vegetable juices. Okay, we'll start the juicer like before and feed the wheatgrass through. Okay, wheatgrass juice is made. Now you can consume this by itself or with other juices or diluted in water. So this made almost almost a half a cup. Now we're going to make a frozen fruit sorbet dessert with the LifeChoice Juicer. Here I have some frozen bananas, and I'll go ahead and just cut them up a little bit more. They look pretty good with this ceramic knife, and that should do it. You can use a variety of different fruits. I like to use at least a base of the frozen bananas because it's smooth and creamy and it simulates ice cream. You can also use berries, strawberries or blueberries, raspberries, frozen mangoes or papayas, and pineapple are all very, very good to use in place of ice cream. So here we go. Go ahead and put some of these in and catch it right away in our glass. Make it look pretty. Okay, we can go ahead and do a few of these, but I just want to give you the idea. Now this is ready to go, or you can dress it up a little bit. Here I have some carob chips. You can use these nice carob chips or a better type of chocolate made without sugar or refined sugar. Here's a little bit of coconut chips, and sometimes it's really nice to add just a little drizzle of honey. We'll just put a little bit on it. When it hits that, it makes a real hard kind of caramely type topping on here. So a little bit, and this is ready to go. Another nice dessert you can make with the LifeChoice Juicer is a raw fruit nut bar. And this one, I've used several different dehydrated fruits. I have dates and figs and prunes. And you put these through the juicer just like we did the frozen fruit sorbet. And it comes out. And with this recipe, I've mixed it with almond butter. You could use peanut butter, a few spices, nutmeg, cinnamon, some vanilla or almond extract, and some kind of a crunchy cereal. And basically this gets mushed together and put into a small container and pushed down, and it's not cooked. You can sprinkle nuts on the top or coconut, and it makes a very, very delicious, no sugar, no dairy dessert. And there's many recipes similar to this that you can use dried fruits with on our website. It's www.tuberos.com. So visit there for many free recipes and also for our cookbooks. Now I'm going to show you how to make homemade pasta with the LifeChoice Juicer. Here is an organic egg, and I've whipped it up a little bit with a fork. And to this, we're going to add a tablespoon of water and a tablespoon of olive oil. And a pinch of sea salt. And we'll go ahead and beat this a little bit to combine. And I have here 3/4 of a cup of semolina flour. So we'll go ahead and add this and stir this. And then this will combine and make a lump of dough. And once it combines, we'll take it out of here and knead it a little bit. You may have to add a little bit more flour or water depending on the consistency. That looks like it's combining good. So we'll make a ball of dough out of this. If you've never had homemade pasta, you're in for a real treat. Okay. When you make this at home, you might want to double or triple this recipe, as it's so good, and it stores well in the refrigerator, and it even freezes well. So you'll want to knead this together. Get all these little pieces combined. It's a little bit like bread dough, but not quite so labor intensive. So this combines and builds the gluten. Those of you that are sensitive to gluten, we can make rice pasta. Actually, it's more like it's called mochi, and you would use already cooked rice that's cooled down and put it through the juicer and collect it as it comes out, and either cut it with scissors or put it through maybe the fettuccine, and you can just put that in a pan and maybe put some olive oil or a little bit of grating cheese or garlic on that in place of the semolina or gluten type pasta. Okay, this is our dough. Now we'll let this rest. We'll put it back in its bowl. We'll let it rest for about 15 or 20 minutes. Come back and we'll put this through and then go ahead and drop it in the boiling water and then flavor it, and then it'll be ready. Okay, now we're ready to make our pasta. Our dough has been resting for about 20 minutes. We have our water boiling behind us. I'm going to cut a few small pieces here with our ceramic knife and replace the end cap with the fettuccine end cap. And again, we can use the fettuccine one or the spaghetti one. And I like fettuccine, so we'll put this one on, tighten it so it stays on, and get ready to put our pasta through here. We'll put it directly in that water and then go ahead and season it. So here we go. I find it's important when you're making pasta to add little pinches of dough. And then we can either cut that off, or we can pinch it off as it comes out into the desired length. Get a little bit more and we'll go ahead and drop it in our water. If your dough feels a little dry, you can just wet it briefly, maybe stick it in the boiling water real quick, or have a little extra water on the side. If it's too wet, you can add a little bit more flour to it to get the right consistency. Sometimes you have to put a little bit through at first to see how it's going to turn out. So it's looking better now as we're working with the dough. We'll go ahead and just get a little water here. This dough is just a little bit on the dry side, I think. So we'll just wet the dough a little bit as we put it through the machine. And this looks like a better consistency to me here. Okay, we'll let that go through and then we'll go ahead and add that to our water. That looks really good. Nice and smooth. All right, go ahead and shut this off. I'm going to bring this over so you can see it. Normally you would do this over your stove. We'll go ahead and put that in. And it doesn't take that long to cook. Just a few minutes in there. We'll go ahead and get our bowl ready. And with some tongs, we'll test that. And you can always, again, taste it to see if it's al dente. That seems good to me. If you don't want to use tongs, or if your pasta's smaller, you can use a slotted spoon. Let it drain, and then serve it immediately. Or you can go ahead and do enough for the whole family, put it into a colander, and then do a quick rinse over the sink right before you serve it. That way it keeps it all nice and warm. Sprinkle a little olive oil over the top. Maybe a little bit of Parmesan cheese. And some fresh herbs. We have oregano and parsley. And here we go.